Welcome to the Manifest Mental Health Podcast. I'm your host, Taylor Smith, certified spiritual life coach and NLP practitioner, bringing you all things motherhood, manifestation, and mental health. This podcast is for you if you're ready to expand your consciousness and stop losing your shit. Whether you're a mom like me out here trying to break generational curses, or you just want to learn how to take better care of your mind, body, and soul, you're in the right place. It's time to break free from your depression and anxiety and start creating a reality that you don't want to escape from. Let's go manifest mental health. Hey you guys, welcome to the podcast. I'm all natural today because this episode is going to be about loving yourself the way you are. So this right here, the real me. Yeah. And in this episode, I wanted to share with you about my struggles with my body image, because it may not look like it now. Like, you may see me posting about I love my body and blah, 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 but I did not always love my body. In fact, for most of my life, I struggled with my body image. Most of my life. Like, I was always like a little chubby kid. I never had any healthy relationship with food modeled to me. I think both of my parents have an emotional eating kind of thing, or maybe just eating for fun kind of thing. We never we would maybe be healthy for 2 weeks at a time or some shit. But this health journey that I went on is really personal to me, because I think that it's a generational curse that I was put here to break. And I know that a lot of this, the way that I used to eat, was not my fault. It was shit that I picked up from my family. And that's shit that they picked up from their family, you know? Everything that we put here to heal is a lot of times passed on to us through our family. And it's been really personal to me because I struggled with my body image for so long. For so many years of my life, I didn't love my body. I had so much shame about my body. Even when I would lose weight, I never loved my body. I would always be trying to lose more. I would never be happy with the way that I looked. But yeah, so I just wanted to share with you a little bit about my journey. And I don't even know where to start, because like I'm telling you, it's been a lifelong thing for me. I think when I first had awareness about that I was overweight was in middle school. And I took this BMI, and it told me, I think it was 28 or 30, or I can't remember. But it told me that I was extremely overweight and borderline obese. And that really brought it to my awareness. I'd always knew that I was a chubby kid, I had to wear bigger size clothes, but I never really thought about it. I never really cared so much about it until I got that little score back, and it made me feel like there's something wrong with me. And in that period of my life, I was also in middle school, and at my middle school, we had to wear school uniforms. And we had to tuck our shirts in. I can remember my PE teacher telling me all the time, Taylor, run these laps. Taylor, tuck your shirt in. And I hated tucking my shirt in because my little belly, it would be hanging over my uniform pants. And if you feel like you could see my belly button through my uniform shirt, I used to hate that shit. And I carried around a lot of shame from those earlier years of my life. I think especially during those years in middle school, I would always wear a jacket trying to cover up my body. I would feel a lot of shame, and that my body was something that I needed to hide, and that it was never enough. Even when I lost weight, I felt like I was never skinny enough because of those emotions from my childhood that were creating all the other experiences in my life. But yeah. So I had a lot of experiences in my life that reinforced this belief that my body wasn't enough. I had this boyfriend that would always tell me, my first love, that would tell me he didn't want to be with me unless I lost weight. I had my nanny telling me that I was fat. I can remember, whenever I found out I was pregnant, or I thought I was pregnant and I was going to stop doing drugs and go home and live with them. Even though they did not want me there and I didn't even want to be there, I just didn't want to be on the streets anymore. I went home, and the first thing I did when I went in her house was go straight to her freezer and get out 2 ice cream sandwiches. And I can remember her telling me, Taylor, you're not pregnant. You're just fat. Like, how can somebody's grandma say that shit to them? Like, some motherfucking savage ass nanny. But it was really a reflection of the way that I felt about myself. The way you feel about yourself, your self-image, is how other people will see you. And they'll say shit that's a reflection of the way that you feel about yourself. And I would, like, have people always commenting, like, Taylor, you've gained a lot of weight. And, like, yeah, I had, but you didn't have to tell me that. I fucking knew. Especially, like, my weight went up and down my entire life. My weight was really a reflection of my mental health, because the months that I was depressed, the months I couldn't get out of bed, the only thing that I could make myself do would be eat. It was like, I smoke, then I eat, then I sleep, and then I repeat. And then the thing about when you eat, especially emotionally eating, you eat because it makes you feel good in that moment, but then you feel like shit later. You feel a bunch of shame because of all the food you ate, which causes you to eat more food to try and not feel the shame. And this is like repeating pattern, like that I would repeat for months at a time, and I would gain all the weight that I had lost during my little happy spell. I'd gain it all back. There would be like months where I would lose weight, but it would be like I was either doing drugs, or I remember in my senior year of high school, I got put on diet pills and I lost weight. But like I said, I was always trying to lose more. I can remember like I reached the limit for how much weight you could lose and be on the diet pills. Like I was at the maximum weight or the minimum weight, and I put on like these leg weights before I went in there to try and still qualify for the diet pills, because I never loved my body, like until now, until over the past 3 years I've built this relationship with my body, and it took some motherfucking work. It did, especially after all those years of hating my body. But the thing that got me the turning point in my journey was after I got sober. You know, you eat everything after you get sober. Because, I mean, also I was pregnant, so I was eating for 2. But whenever you get sober, your brain is trying to find some of that dopamine that it used to get from the drugs. And for most people, we turn to food. You know, food is a drug. It is. Like, it does give you dopamine. It does make you feel good in that moment. And so I was eating everything. And I'd see people like from my old life, and they would be like, you look great, Taylor. And what they really meant was, you look fat, Taylor. I used to hate when people would tell me that shit. Like, they could tell that I'm sober because I gained a shit ton of weight. And I feel like a lot of people, like, when they get sober, they gain a lot of weight. And it's that thing with the brain where it's trying to find different sources of dopamine. And food is the easiest one. But anyways, my turning point was whenever I gained all that weight. And I didn't even take pictures of myself during my pregnancy, because I was like, oh my God. I did not like the way I looked. It was the biggest I'd ever been. I got up to like 220 pounds when I was pregnant. And people would be like, when are you going to post a picture of that baby bump? I would be like, you can see her when she gets here. You don't need to know what the fuck she looks like inside my belly. Because I'm telling you, I didn't even want to look in the mirror when I was pregnant. I hated my body. But my mom took these pictures at Christmas, because that's what moms do. And I saw a picture of myself, and I was horrified. Like, I remember looking at that picture and being like, how did I let myself get like this? I was like disgusted with myself. Like, I just had never been that big before in my entire life, and I felt so much shame whenever I saw that picture. I remember going up to my room and crying, like, and in that moment, I just decided, like, I'm getting healthier. It was from a place of not loving myself. It was like, I can't let it get worse than this. But in that moment, like, I remember praying to God, like, let me get healthier. Because I also knew, like, when I had Lindy, I wanted to be able to have energy to play with her and take care of her. Like, I didn't want to be tired and sluggish all the time. And because when you are overweight, it affects your ability to, like, do shit. You're more tired because your body is spending so much energy digesting all that food. But yeah, I remember praying to God, like, please help me lose some of this weight. And yeah, when I had her, probably like, actually whenever I was pregnant with her, maybe like a month after that, I read this book called The Secret, and it was talking about manifesting weight loss and about how your thoughts create your reality. And up until that point, I've been telling myself all these thoughts, like, I'm so fat, I need to lose 10 pounds, or I need to lose way more than 10 pounds. But my whole entire life, I've been telling myself thoughts like, I'm so fat, I need to lose 10 pounds, even when I didn't. I need to change something about my body in order to be worthy of being loved. That's what I used to think. I felt like that nobody would love me the way that my body was. And really, it was me that needed to love me the way my body was. So up until that moment, I had been telling myself all these thoughts that were really reinforcing this negative self-image and reinforcing this negative relationship that I had with my body. It wasn't inspiring me to take positive actions whenever I was trying to do them from a place of hating myself. So after that, it was talking about how you can lose weight by telling yourself, I am losing weight, or I love my body, and all these, like, just telling yourself different thoughts, and then visualizing yourself at your ideal weight. And before that, I used to look at pictures of myself, like, where I was at the weight that I wanted to be at, and I would tell myself, I just can't wait to get back to this size. I can't wait to get back to this size. And the thing is, whenever I was at that size, I wasn't even happy at that size. Like, so loving myself had to come when I was at my biggest weight. Like, whenever I learned about how my thoughts were creating my reality, how, like, my body was a reflection of the thoughts I was telling myself about myself, I had to learn how to love myself. Like, I had to tell myself thoughts like, I love my body, when I didn't think that they were, like, when it felt like a fucking lie to me. Whenever I was 220 pounds looking in the mirror like, I love my body, that felt like a fucking lie. And the reason it felt like a lie wasn't because I was 220 pounds. It was because up until that point, I had never told myself that. It was a foreign thought to me. And the reason that our thoughts feel true to us is because we've told ourselves them for so long. And they become a belief in our mind. And so I had to keep telling myself that every day, even though I didn't feel like it was true. And then I noticed the more that I would tell myself that, like, maybe this could be true. You know, if I can't love my body for the way it looks, can I love my body for all the things that it does for me? Can I love my body because it's about to give birth to this little girl that saved my motherfucking life? Can I love my body because of all the functions that it does, like because it is a vessel for my soul? Can I love my body because it's a part of me and I want to love me? And yeah, so I would tell myself thoughts like that over and over again until they felt true for me. And I would keep praying, like, God, please help me get healthy. And whenever you ask God to do something, He will do it for you. Like, I think a lot of times the reason that God doesn't step in is because we're not asking Him. But now I be asking God about everything. And He be coming through for me. Like, He will literally give you guidance on any issue that you need help with in your life. And after I had Lindy, like, my mom, I moved in with my mom, and she was telling me about her friends that were doing intermittent fasting. And I was like, I've never done that before, so I'm going to try it. And it was working. Like, it was hard the first week because, you know, I had been eating food all day, every day, and trying not to feel them emotions forever. But whenever I did it, like, I saw myself losing weight. And the thing about the law of attraction is whatever you focus on, you create more of. And that is really how I manifested losing the weight, like, was just getting that jump start with intermittent fasting. I saw that it was possible for me, which was one thing. Like, that a thing I struggled with was I had this limiting belief that losing weight was hard, that I would have to give up eating foods that I liked, which I did do for a while. But I focused on how easy it was to lose weight, like how it was just falling off of me. It seemed like I was losing like 3 or 4 pounds a week. Especially after you have a baby, you're going to lose weight. But the intermittent fasting really made it come off way easier. And the more I focused on it, the easier it was for me. Like, the more weight I lost. And I would just kept getting on the scale every week and seeing that I was losing weight. And I saw myself getting closer and closer and closer to the weight that I visualized myself at. And I was like, oh my God, this shit works. This shit works. I also did change the foods that I was putting in my body, which I think is a really important part of your healing journey, because the foods that you put in your body, they have a vibration, and you literally do become what you eat. Like, and fruits and vegetables are up here on the little vibrational scale. I may try and find like a picture of this to put on this video or in the show notes, but fruits and vegetables are up here, and then like dairy is right here, and like meat is right here, and then McDonald's is down the fuck here, and like all the sugar and all that shit, it has like a 0 vibration, like a negative vibration. I can't even remember the number, but it has a low, brings your vibration down. And then if you want to raise your vibration, you eat the higher vibrational foods. And also the foods that you're putting in your body affect your gut health. Like, there's billions of bacteria in your gut, and 90% of serotonin is produced in your gut. If you're not feeding, there's a lot of bacteria in your gut, but there's good bacteria and there's bad bacteria. And when you eat foods that feed the good bacteria, you're helping them to have the nutrients to form those neurotransmitters like serotonin, which is the happiness chemical that tells your brain to be happy. There's like this axis that connects your gut to your brain, the gut-brain axis. And it literally, the foods you eat tell your body how to feel. And if you're feeding those bad bacteria, you're going to be feeling like shit. So even though I'm not trying to lose weight anymore, I could never go back to the way that I was eating before, because I see how much better I feel. That was another thing. I started to see how much better I was feeling from the intermittent fasting, from changing the foods that I was putting into my body. And I would just find these YouTube videos, and it would be teaching me everything I needed to know, like about taking care of my gut health and why it was important, like probiotics and all these things that you can do for your gut health. And your gut health really affects your ability to lose weight too, because your digestion is so important if you're trying to lose weight. Like, you can't absorb the nutrients from your food if your body isn't digesting them. And if your body doesn't digest something, then it's just going to turn to fat. So, I've actually created a masterclass on this about gut health. It's called Happy and Healthy as Fuck, the Masterclass, because I truly believe that the healthier you get, the happier you're going to feel. Like, your health and happiness are so interconnected. I'm not even, like I said, I'm not even trying to lose weight anymore, but I'll never stop trying to be the healthiest version of myself, because I know how happy that makes me, how much my mental health is impacted by the foods I put in my body, by the way that I move my body, my lack of movement. If I skip my movement practice, I definitely see it affecting my mental health. Yeah. But back to, I got off on this whole tangent, but I created this masterclass, so I'm going to put it in the show notes for you guys, this link to sign up for it. And yeah, where was I? But I lost 80 pounds, to make the long story short. I lost 80 pounds, and I've been able to keep it off over the past, it's been 3, 4, she's 4. So it's been 4 years since I've had her, and I've been able to keep it off. And I literally feel the best I've ever felt in my life. And it's not just because I lost the weight, but it's because of who I became in the process. Like, whenever you're able to stick to something and you're able to show your body love by changing the foods that you feed it, by moving it every day, you literally become a different version of yourself. It builds your confidence. It shows you that you can do hard shit. You can do shit you've never done before. For me, that was changing the way that I ate. Like, that felt so impossible for me, because I would try and do it and I would be able to make changes for a couple of weeks, but then I would go back to the shit I'd always done before. Because the way that you eat is a subconscious program. Your subconscious runs like 95% of your awareness is subconscious. Like, in your conscious mind, you can be like, I'm losing this weight, and then you're able to stick to a diet for a couple of weeks, and then your programming kicks in. And so, like I was saying in the beginning, it was a learned behavior. It was something that I inherited. The way that I ate, the way that I didn't give a fuck about what I ate, that was passed on to me. And so it became, your subconscious is formed from like ages 1 to 7. And that was the program for me. And I had to reprogram my subconscious mind by repeatedly showing up and choosing to take different actions every day. Part of manifestation is showing up as the version of you that already has the manifestation. So think about the version of you that's already lost this weight. How is she talking to herself? Number one, what kind of thoughts is she telling herself? Is she looking in the mirror saying, I hate my body, I need to lose 10 pounds? No, the fuck, she's not. She is looking in the mirror like, I love my body, I'm so proud of myself, I am so grateful for my body. And how is she eating? What kind of foods is your future self that's already lost this weight, what kind of foods is she putting into her body? Is she eating a shit ton of ice cream or a bunch of potato chips? No, the fuck, she is not. Like, she may treat herself from time to time, but she's not doing this shit on a regular basis. And how is she moving her body? And movement was a hard one for me, because whenever I had this unhealthy relationship with movement where I would move my body because I was trying to change my body because I hated my body. Like, I remember in college, I would drink a bunch of alcohol and maybe eat really unhealthy because I would drink and smoke and eat. And then the next day I would go to the gym and try and run it all off or work out and get rid of all those calories I consumed the night before. And so I had this this hate relationship with the gym. And now I move my body because I love my body, because I know how good I feel when I move my body. And your movement practice doesn't have to be some hardcore gym workout. It can be yoga. It can be a nature walk. And that's really my preferred two methods. I have been working on growing my glutes and maybe getting some little abs here lately because I want to build my strength and prove to myself I can do that shit. But I did not start off there. I started off with pushing my stroller around my mom's neighborhood and telling myself, I love my body, I love my body, I love my body, even when I didn't fucking feel like it. And so, yeah, whenever you're trying to become that new version of you, you have to show up the way that they show up in the world. You have to think, what kind of thoughts are they thinking? What kind of habits do they have? And how do they love themselves? You have to love yourself when you're at your worst if you're trying to get to your best. And yeah, like I was saying, that is the subconscious program. The subconscious reprogramming is what really ensures whether or not you can lose the weight without reprogramming your subconscious mind, but it's really hard to keep it off because those patterns are wired deep within you, and your conscious mind is only 5% of your awareness. So whenever you stop thinking about the shit, your subconscious patterns are going to come back out. So one thing that really helped me was I used to listen to a lot of weight loss hypnosis. And this shit can sound weird, but it's about relaxing your conscious mind so that you can access your subconscious mind, where you can create new beliefs and install new habits and install new thoughts that you want to think. So I actually created a guided meditation for weight loss, and I'm going to link it in the show notes for you guys, because I know that that's listening to those hypnosises is really what helped me to reprogram my subconscious mind and to keep the weight off. And yeah. But I just wanted to record this episode with you and let you know, like, if you're struggling with your body image, like if that's something that has affected your self-worth for some period of your life, that you can lose the weight, but also don't wait until you lose it to love yourself. That your weight is a number on the scale. Like, I'm all about loving your body, but at the same time, it doesn't matter what your body looks like. Like, your body is just a motherfucking avatar. Your soul is what makes you beautiful. And you are not worthy of being loved after you lose 10 pounds. You're worthy of being loved right now. And sometimes you got to give that love to yourself. You don't lose weight so that other people can tell you, oh, you look great. You have to look in the mirror and tell yourself, I love myself. I know that I look great. And then whenever you feel that way about you, like, maybe other people will tell you, but by the time you feel like that about yourself, it won't even fucking matter what other people say. I think the best weight you can ever lose is the weight of other people's opinion of you. Like, I stopped giving any fuck about what my nanny had to say about me. Love my nanny. I don't know what in her programming thought that shit's cool. But I love her. But don't let the things that the people say about you affect the way that you feel about yourself. And if you're wanting to lose weight, don't make it be for other people. And really, I wouldn't even call it a weight loss journey. I would just call it your health journey. Commit not to losing weight, but commit to getting healthy. Because it's not about going on a diet. It's about adopting a whole new lifestyle. Like, who are you trying to become? Really get clear on your why you're doing this. Like, for me, it was like, I'm trying to heal this generational curse. I'm trying to have the energy to show up and play with my daughter. I'm trying to look in the mirror and love what I see. I'm trying to improve my self-confidence. And yeah, I'm probably going to have a lot of episodes about this shit, because I really do feel like your health journey is so important. It is so connected to your mental health. And I want to inspire people to become the happiest, healthiest versions of themselves, because I know how interconnected your health and happiness are. And I want for people to know that. And I also want you to know that you are worthy of being loved, no matter how much you weigh. None of that shit matters. That you're worthy just where you are right now on your journey. And that you can overcome any negative self-talk, any low self-worth, that your soul was literally put here. That's like just a lesson in your journey, and you came here to learn it, and you came here to master it. And so don't give up on yourself just because you haven't found something that works for you yet. Like, everybody's body is different. And just be patient with yourself and learn to love the journey instead of the destination. Don't wait until you lose the weight to love yourself. Learn to love yourself now. And that's really what's going to help you lose the weight. Because when you love your body, it's way easier to show up and make choices that reflect that love that you have for yourself. Okay, I'm going to wrap this up now. But if this episode has helped you, or you know somebody that needs to hear this shit, I want you to share it, and also subscribe to the podcast. That way that you will be notified whenever another episode drops. I think the more people hear this stuff, the better. I really want to help people learn to love themselves and to start taking better care of their mind and their body and their soul, because that is the key to improving mental health, like to raising the vibration of this planet. If you don't take care of your health, you aren't even really giving yourself a real chance at happiness. Okay. I love you guys, and I want you to love yourself. Give yourself the love that you're seeking from others, even if you've never been shown it before.